Hey, welcome to Grazy Worms. My name is Ralph. Thanks for stopping by today. We're going to be working with bin number 4. We're going to be giving it just a routine feeding and fluffing. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoy the video. Bin number 4 is one of the bins that I robbed worms from, 1 and 2, to start back in 6 months or so ago. So it's been a pretty good bin, and I've had some pretty nice worm balls come out of here. Anyway, hope you enjoy the video. I can grow these worms myself, but I can't grow this channel without your help. So if you would, please give it a like. Leave me a comment, even if it's just a hi or a bye, or I don't like your channel, or I like your channel, or whatever. If you would do that, I would really appreciate it. So thank you very much. Bin number 4. Let's see what we got. Oops. I think that paper might be past its goodness. We'll try and remember to put it in with the feeding. Okay. Golf ball marks the last feeding, in case you don't know, if you're new. I hope you are. And we'll put that right there. Let's see what we got. Oh, I see I got some more seeds. Now, I'm going to explain why I get these seeds in here. I use a heating system for my worm bins because I'm in the mountains, and I'm at 4,000 feet. And up until this past week, we've still been getting frost and freeze. So I have to have heat on my worm bins. Now, I'm also a gardener, so I take advantage of the heating units that I have to keep my worms warm, and I put seed starter trays on top of the worm bins, so I get double duty out of them. So it works pretty good. Let's see what we got here. That's a pretty good handful of worms there. Wow, look at that. Isn't that fantastic? Wow. And to think that 8 months ago I just took a handful of worms out of another bin and put in here, and they have just done fantastic. Look at that. Wow. I would call that a worm ball. And there's some more of that probably same worm ball. This was the feeding zone from a week ago. It's been 8 days since I fed, and it's a pretty good worm ball. And there's plenty of worms in this feeding zone still. Now, if you notice, this worm bin here is not nearly as deep as 1 and 2. And that's because I'm getting old. I'm 80 years old, and I can't pick up all those heavy stuff anymore. So in the future, all my worm bins are going to be relatively shallow. And I'll tell you what, the worms do just fine in the shallow bins. They don't fuss at me at all. As a matter of fact, I think they like the shallow bins, especially if you're looking to increase your population. Worm bins seem to breed better. Worms in shallow bins, let me rephrase that. Worms in shallow bins seem to reproduce better and quicker than worms in deep bins. Now, I don't know what the scientific fact of that is. That's just my own personal observation. There's a lot of stuff in this bin that didn't get devoured. Wow. Here we go again. Look at that. Just hundreds of little worms there. Okay. The worms seem to like to get into the corners of the bins. And I really don't know why they like to do that. If somebody knows, if they got a theory on that, leave it in the comment section. I'd like to know. like I say, I've only been doing this for 7 or 8 months, so I'm still learning every week when I go in here. I learn something new. Ooh, there's a nice one there. That is what I would call a mature red wiggler. Get all this good stuff moved over here on top of this, and that way I can get the rest of this fluffed up. Get these worms about as agitated as I can possibly agitate them. But it's good to agitate them because that way I get more fresh oxygen down in the bin where the worms are at, and it seems to make them healthy. They seem to reproduce rapidly, and that's what I like. As you can see, last time I was in here I put in some carbon, and we haven't really worked it very much, and I'll be mixing it in with everything else here, so when I come back in next week I probably won't find much of that. Oh, here's some more greens. Not sure what that plant material is, but it's something that I was seeding here. Could be about anything from tomatoes to broccoli, cauliflower. I try to grow a little bit of everything. I have a very short growing season, so I have to grow cool weather crops. I tried tomatoes. The only tomatoes I can grow are cherry tomatoes. They mature kind of quickly, and at some point in time, I'll probably take you along with me out back, and we'll take a look at the little garden effort. All right, let's move this back over here so we can level out. We'll do our feeding right here in the middle. These little tubes here, they come out of the poop bags that I use to pick up my dog poop. And once they're used, they're of no use to me, so I put them in here. But to be honest, so far, they haven't done much with them. But I have no place else to put them, and I don't want to put them to the landfill, so that'll just have to do. They'll get to it eventually. All right, let's get the food in here. Here we've got a banana. Let's see what else we've got. That looks like a stem off of lettuce. An apple core. Maybe a couple of apple cores here. I should break these up a little bit. And I think that's about it. This bin doesn't require a lot. There is a lot of worms in there, but I'll give them a lot of other stuff too. So let's get into the coffee grounds here.
Are you all right?
Yep, I'm doing my worm thing. It's my lovely wife. She's always concerned about me. She's not real enthusiastic about my worm farming, but it's like I told her, I'm pretty old. Yep, there's an earwig. We do not need him in this bin. There he is. We will smash him. I do not like earwigs. Let's see. Boy, we got a lot of coffee filters here. We're not going to put all these in. But I'll shred up 3 or 4 of them. Get a couple of these latest wet ones here. The worms seem to devour these pretty good as long as I shred them up. One of the posters on YouTube by the name of EV uses his coffee filters to mark his feeding locations. I have too many coffee filters and too few bins, so I only have 4 bins, so I could have coffee filters forever. And we'll just keep adding to it here. And that's enough. Put these back in the old bucket over there. Now, put that down there a little bit. Get some worm chow. Some oyster shell for grit. And we have this paper stuff here. And I'm just going to lay it on top of the food. And then I'll put a new paper down. They seem to like a paper covering over the top. So we'll see what happens here. Usually I put this down in the food, but I didn't do it today, so there we go. Now, let's get a new paper. Okay, this is a continuation of bin number 4. Battery died, camera change, all the stuff that you run into when you're doing YouTube. So, bin number 4 is complete, and it'll be set and ready to go. We'll put our golf ball in over our feeding, which I believe was right there. It's been so long ago I forgot. No, just kidding. And one more thing I want to do before I go. I'll put that fresh paper in there and wet it down good. Turn it over this way. Give it plenty of water. Now we can put our plastic down, and ladies and gentlemen, that completes bin number 4. Thank you for staying with me today. I appreciate you watching all the way to the end. If you did, I hope you did. Anyway, have a good day, and thanks again. Hey, thanks for stopping by today. I hope you enjoyed this little video about bin number 4. Have a great day. See you next time.